You want to know the fastest way to make a man completely addicted to you? Touch him down there while making love. No, not where your mind just went. Something far more powerful. Because this touch doesn't just turn him on, it makes him feel something most men don't even realize they're craving. And once you give it to him, he'll come back for it like it's oxygen. See, there's a place on a man's body that carries the weight of all his stress, all the pressure of being the rock, the one who holds it all together. It's his lower back. The spot that holds the tension of always standing tall, never letting himself fully rest. When you reach for it during intimacy, not to pull him closer, but to hold him in a way that says, "I've got you," it hits him deeper than any kiss ever could. In that moment, he's not just feeling your touch, he's feeling the relief of being allowed to let go. That's the kind of sensation a man doesn't forget, because it's not just pleasure, it's freedom. If you've ever wondered what truly makes a man feel safe enough to fall deeply for you, stay with me. I'm about to show you how a single, well-placed touch can turn intimacy into something he can't live without. You're about to discover the hidden spot on the male body that can make him fall deeply in love with you when you're sharing a moment of closeness. And no, believe me, it's not what you expect. Carl Jung found it after researching 500 men for more than 20 years. Yet this knowledge stayed buried in his private notes until today. We're about to start an archaeological journey into unexplored parts of the male body. I will be your trusted guide, and you'll be the daring explorer. Prepare to uncover secret treasures that 99% of women don't even realize exist. Welcome to the first area of our secret map. We have just stepped into the most misunderstood zone of the male body, a place women often touch but rarely truly understand. Your first discovery will challenge everything you thought you knew. The most powerful spot on a man's body isn't where you assume it is. It's not where movies, magazines, or even your friends told you. It's hidden in an area you touch every day without giving it a second thought. Jung described this spot as the bridge between body and soul. It's where physical sensation and emotion meet to create a bond that goes far beyond simple pleasure. And where is it? On the neck. Yes, that's right, the male neck. But I'm not talking about the typical soft caress or light kiss. I mean a specific method Jung saw that could deeply affect a man's emotional core. Carla, 52, shared with me what happened after she tried it. "I don't know what came over him," she said, "but when I touched Maurizio's neck in that exact way, he looked at me as if he'd seen a ghost. From that instant, everything between us changed. He became more caring, more present, and more in love." This is the very secret Jung uncovered. At the back of the male neck, exactly where the hairline begins, are nerve endings that connect directly to his most sensitive emotional center. It's not just a sensual area, it's an entryway to his deepest vulnerability. But take caution, there's a very exact way to touch this point. It's not a casual stroke. Jung noted that you must use your fingertips with light yet intentional pressure, making slow clockwise circular motion. The touch must last at least 30 seconds, or the neurobiological link won't fully engage. Marco, married for 10 years, admitted to me, "When my wife touches my neck like that, I feel like clay in her hands. It's as if a hidden door inside me opens that I never even knew existed." What truly makes this technique powerful is the moment you choose to use it. Not during intense arousal when he's already lost in sensation, but in quiet, tender moments, when you're cuddled up together, when he's calm and open. That's when the real magic happens. His brain ties that feeling to the safety and affection he experiences with you. It stops being only physical attraction and becomes an emotional imprint. Lucia shared with me, "I tried it while we were watching a film, just lying on the couch. I began touching his neck the way you described. After about a minute, he turned to her with tears in his eyes and whispered, 'I love you so much it almost hurts.'" It was the first time she'd ever heard such depth in his voice. But what I'm about to tell you about the second secret area is even more powerful. I've seen women receive proposals of marriage after discovering it. And let me tell you, it's in a place you almost certainly underestimate. But first, you need to understand why the first zone works so well. Jung discovered that the male neck connects to the vagus nerve, which controls the nervous system's relaxation response. When you stimulate it the right way, you're not just giving pleasure, you're literally training his nervous system to link deep calm and comfort to your presence. That's why men who experience this method often develop what Jung called positive emotional dependence. This doesn't make them weak or submissive. It simply means they can no longer picture life without that deep feeling of peace only you bring. As Roberta once wrote to me, bringing tears to my eyes, "I can't fully explain it, but since my wife started touching my neck this way, it's like she holds the key to a secret place inside me, a place where I can be soft and unguarded, where I don't need to pretend. And the most amazing part is this works no matter a man's age, character or past." Jung tested this on men between 20 and 70, both introverted and outgoing, romantic and practical. The results were always the same. A deep, almost instant emotional link. Now that you've uncovered the first treasure on our secret map, it's time to go further. The second area we're about to uncover was called by Jung the true key to a man's soul. Yet it's a place most women completely overlook. And if these hidden male body zones are news to you, make sure to subscribe to this channel. We share maps of the male heart that no one else dares reveal. Jung found that on a man's wrists, lines of energy intersect. These lines, known for centuries in Eastern medicine, are still largely ignored in the West. And this isn't superstition, this is pure biology. A man's wrists are woven with nerve pathways linked directly to his emotional system. But Jung's deeper discovery was this: when a man's wrists are held in a special way, it awakens what he called the memory of childhood abandonment. It may sound complex, so let me make it simple. Every man, no matter how tough or independent, carries a buried memory of being a small boy longing for complete unconditional love and safety. This memory rests deep in his subconscious, but the wrists are the direct key to it. Anna, one of my students, told me, "I always thought Alejandro was made of ice. 15 years together and I'd never once seen him deeply vulnerable. Then I tried the wrist method you taught." He broke into tears. He said he felt loved in a way he hadn't since he was a child. But be careful. This isn't something to do at random. Jung explained that you must first build what he called the circle of intimacy. Here's how. When you're in bed, after making love, or during a quiet moment, gently hold his wrists in your hands. Don't press, don't rub, just wrap your fingers around them like soft bracelets. The magic happens when you keep this hold for at least 2 minutes while breathing together. This sustained touch signals to his primal brain that he is completely safe, cared for, and unconditionally accepted. That's why I created the Love Destiny quiz. In only 7 questions, it can reveal the path your love life is most likely to follow among thousands of possibilities. It's free, you can take it at wifeless.soyorbit or simply comment quiz and I'll send the link directly. But back to our journey. Giorgio, 60, a man who seemed logical and reserved, once told me, "When my wife holds my wrists like that, I become the little boy I once was, the one I thought I'd forgotten. I feel totally calm, fully loved." The science behind this is astonishing. The wrists are crossed by the radial artery, carrying blood from the heart to the hands. Gentle pressure here briefly slows the blood flow, sparking a wave of calm in the brain, which registers it as complete safety. Jung uncovered another surprising fact. Men who experience this often develop what he called the refuge imprint. Their brains come to associate your touch with being shielded from the world outside. Claudia told me, "It's amazing. Since I started using the wrist method, Andrea has changed completely. He used to always be tense, stressed by work. Now when I hold his wrists, he melts." He told her, "You've become my safe place." But one important detail, This only works if he's relaxed, not distracted or restless. You have to wait for natural moments of closeness, when you're both at ease. Only then can his mind build the right emotional link. Timing matters more than anything. Jung noticed that this wrist method is most effective when a man is emotionally open, not when he's feeling proud or invincible. Marta told me, I tried it one evening when Paolo came home completely worn out and sad. As he told me about his hard day, I held his wrists. Watching him shift from tired and heavy to open and loving was incredible. What's special about this spot is the bond it creates. It builds emotional closeness without control or pressure. He doesn't feel dominated, he only feels uniquely cherished. And that's exactly why he'll keep returning to you for that feeling. Federico confessed to me, it's strange, but now I miss it if my wife doesn't touch my wrists during our cuddles. It's like that feeling has become vital for my emotional well-being. But hold on, because now we're moving into the third zone on our hidden map, and it will shake up everything you thought you knew about male anatomy. It's a place most women never take seriously, yet Jung called it the center of emotional control, and when you find out where it is, you won't believe it. But before we get there, I want to share one more discovery that touched me deeply. Jung found that men who often experienced the wrist technique became better at expressing emotions, not because they became more emotional, but because they finally learned to show what they'd always been feeling. Sylvia told me, Maurizio was never good at words of love. In 20 years of marriage, he might have said, I love you 10 times. But since I about male anatomy, it's the point Jung identified as the seat of emotional control. And it's in a place that will surprise you. Get ready, because we are about to enter the most unexplored part of the male body, the lower back. Yes, right there in the lumbar region. But I'm not talking about a simple massage or random strokes. I'm talking about a specific method Jung developed while studying men's bodies. The male lower back is full of nerve connections that go directly to the primal emotional center. Jung found this area holds what he called the code of the vulnerable alpha, the key to the deepest and most hidden side of his character. Every man, even the softest and most gentle, carries inside a primal part that tries to keep emotions under control, to seem strong. But his lower back is his emotional Achilles heel. Elena once sent me a letter I still have. She wrote, I used the lower back method you taught me. Marco, who hadn't cried in front of me for 10 years, broke into tears. He said he felt emotionally naked, but in a good way, like he could finally be fully himself, without any shields. But be careful, this method is very powerful and should be used with care. You can't apply it randomly or at the wrong times. Jung noticed that the lumbar area should only be touched in moments of deep closeness, when he feels completely relaxed and trusting. Here's the exact technique Jung taught. After sex, while cuddling, and he's in an open emotional state, place your open palm on his lower back, just above the sacrum. Do not press, do not rub, simply hold your hand still there. The warmth of your hand on that spot activates what Jung called the reflex of full surrender. His nervous system reads this warmth as a sign of complete safety, and all his emotional defenses fall away. Antonio, 50, an accountant, a man of few words and many numbers, once shared something that touched me. When my wife puts her hand on my back like that, it's like a dam opens inside me. I feel an unstoppable urge to tell her everything, all the fears I hide, all the dreams I never dare to say. But the real magic happens when you keep your hand there for at least 5 minutes. Jung observed that in the first 2 minutes a man relaxes. In the next minutes he begins to open up, and after 5 minutes he enters the state Jung called total transparency. In this state, he's completely honest. He can't hide his emotions, he can't pretend. It's as if you found the switch to his emotional truth. Carla told me, after I held my hand on Ricardo's back for 10 minutes, he looked into my eyes and told me things he had never told anyone. He opened up about his childhood, his deepest fears, and how he truly sees me. It was the most intimate talk we'd ever had. But Jung made another powerful discovery. The male lower back is tied to his protective instinct. When you touch this area right, you not only reach his vulnerability, you also awaken his deep need to protect and love you always. It's like through this touch, you're saying without words, I'm here for you, you can trust me completely, I'm your safe place. And he reacts to that message with deep instinctive love. Julia said, since I started using the lower back method, David has become so protective of me, but not in a possessive way. It's like he feels a strong inner drive to look after me. He treats me as if I'm the most precious thing in his life. What makes this area truly special is that it creates what Jung called the soulmate imprint. When you use this method often, a man's mind starts linking the feeling of emotional wholeness to your presence. You literally become his natural comfort, the one that makes him feel complete. It's not negative dependency, it's his unconscious knowing that you hold the key to the deepest parts of his soul. Marco confessed, it's strange, but when my wife isn't around, I miss her hand on my back. It feels like something in me stays incomplete without that warmth and safety. But be cautious, because there's one vital thing about this method you must know. The lower back should only be touched when he is emotionally completely open. If you try it when he's distracted or guarded, it won't work. Jung found that the perfect moment is right after orgasm, when a man is in his most vulnerable biological state. At that time, his mind can literally be reprogrammed, and your hand on his back can create lasting emotional bonds. Stefania told me, I did exactly as you said right after sex. Roberto was totally relaxed and open. When I placed my hand on his back, I felt his whole body melt. He whispered, please, don't ever take your hand away. But what comes next in the fourth zone will leave you speechless. It's an area Jung kept secret for years because it was too powerful. A spot that can create emotional dependence instantly, but only if touched with perfect precision. Before we move on, I want to share one last finding about the lower back. Jung found that men who experienced this touch regularly developed what he called unshakable emotional loyalty, not because they had to, but because they couldn't imagine that sense of wholeness with anyone else. Francesca wrote to me, my husband travels a lot for work and is always around attractive, interesting women, but since I began using the lower back method, he seems immune to temptation. He told me no one else could ever give him what I give him. That's the true strength of the lower back. It leaves such a deep emotional mark that a man naturally becomes loyal, not from duty but from a choice he isn't even aware of. He searches in other women for what only you give him, and because he can't find it, he always returns to you. Now it's time to dig even deeper in our expedition. The fourth zone we're about to uncover, Jung called the holy sanctuary of male closeness. And once you know what it is, you'll understand why some men become completely captivated by certain women. Welcome to the most hidden part of our journey. We're about to enter the sacred space of male intimacy, the place Jung studied for years before he understood its full, overwhelming power. Get ready, because what I'm about to share will change forever how you see the link between physical and emotional closeness. The fourth secret zone is on his feet. Yes, you heard that right. Male feet are the most precious and least explored treasure of the male body. I know what you're thinking. Feet? Really? I get it. I was doubtful too when I first read Jung's research. But then I tried it, and the results left me amazed. Jung found that male feet hold what he called the code of voluntary surrender. I'm not talking about weakness or a loss of pride. I'm speaking about the ability to fully open oneself out of love, to willingly show true vulnerability to one person in the whole world. The feet are the part of the body that always meet the ground, carrying the entire weight of the man, representing his balance and strength. When a man lets you touch his feet in an intimate way, he is giving you access to his deepest place of control. Lisa once wrote me an email I still keep. I believed Matteo was a man who could never really be won over. He always kept a part of himself locked away, a quiet inner resistance. Then I tried the foot method you taught me. Something magical happened. He surrendered to me completely, both body and soul. But be careful, this isn't something to use casually. Jung noticed that the wrong touch on the feet can have the opposite effect. You need to follow the exact approach he developed while studying the anatomy of male trust. Here's the technique Jung perfected. In a moment of deep closeness, when you're both completely relaxed, softly hold one of his feet in your hands, not like giving a regular massage, but as if you were holding something rare and delicate. The real key is your inner state. You must touch his feet with the same care and tenderness you would use when holding a newborn baby. Jung found that men can feel the intention behind a touch, and only if they sense genuine respect can they lower their deepest defenses. Start by slowly massaging the sole of his foot with your thumbs, making unhurried, deep circular motions. But the true magic comes when you reach the arch of the foot, that soft middle area. Jung found that this spot connects directly to the most sensitive emotional center. When you stimulate the arch with just the right amount of pressure, firm but gentle, you trigger what Jung called the reflex of total surrender. The man enters such a deep state of vulnerability that he becomes emotionally completely transparent. Andrea, 45, a successful attorney and a man used to being in full control, told me something that stayed with me. When my wife touches my feet like this, I feel like a child. I can't hide anything anymore. I can't pretend to be strong. I feel completely in her hands, and strangely, it's the most freeing feeling I've ever had. Jung also made another remarkable discovery. He learned that the foot technique only works if the man fully trusts you. It's like an unconscious test of absolute safety. Only if he feels completely secure with you can he allow himself to be that vulnerable. That's why this method should only be used once a deep emotional connection already exists. It's not for the early stages of a relationship or times of conflict. It's meant only for the deepest levels of love. Matra told me I had to wait 2 years before I could use the foot technique with Paolo. In the beginning, he would tense up, resisting without realizing it. But when our relationship reached a place of total trust, he finally let go. Witnessing his transformation was incredible. What makes this area truly special is the lasting impact it leaves. Jung noticed that men who often experience the foot method develop what he called soul dependence. They could no longer imagine living without that deep sense of surrender, a feeling only you can give. You essentially become his emotional home, the one place where he can fully be himself, no masks, no defenses, no fear of being judged. Roberto once admitted, "It's hard to put into words, but when my wife massages my feet like this, it feels like I finally come home after a long journey. It's the only moment when I can completely shut off my mind and give in to pure emotion." There's an even deeper side to this technique that Jung discovered. Touching a man's feet with love and respect not only awakens his vulnerability, it also sparks his deepest instinct to protect you. It's as if some ancient part of his brain thinks, "This woman is touching the humblest part of me with pure love. She's special. I must cherish and protect her always." Sylvia wrote to me, "Since I started using the foot method, Giorgio has become incredibly devoted, not in a submissive way, but in total surrender. He treats me like his queen, yet also feels free to show me his softest side." But Jung made yet another observation that amazed me. He found that the foot method creates what he called a reversal of power. Paradoxically, a man feels stronger exactly because he can allow himself to be weak. It's like he thinks, "I'm so certain of her love that I can reveal all my weaknesses. That makes me the strongest man alive, because someone loves me exactly as I am." Francesco confessed, "Before I met my wife, I always had to prove I was tough, untouchable, flawless. Now, because of our closeness, I know I can be vulnerable with her and never lose her respect." Strangely, that's made me more confident in all other areas of my life. But now we come to the fifth and final area of our hidden map, and it will leave you breathless. It's the place Jung guarded most closely, exploring it only with a few trusted men. An area capable of creating a bond so deep it borders on the spiritual. Before revealing it, I want to share one last insight about the feet. Jung found that this method is especially powerful for men who carry heavy responsibilities. Leaders, professionals, fathers. The more weight a man bears each day, the more he craves a safe space to let it all go. His feet hold the symbol of everything he carries. When you touch them with care and love, you're unconsciously saying, I see all that you carry, I know your strength, but with me, you can rest. Laura shared, my husband is the CEO of a big company. He shoulders countless responsibilities and makes constant decisions, but when I come home and massage his feet, I watch the strong man melt into a child who simply needs gentleness. It's our most beautiful moment of the day. Now we've reached the last and greatest discovery of our journey, the fifth zone Jung called the gate to eternity. This area can create an unbreakable bond between two souls. Get ready, because what I'm about to share is the most profound secret Jung uncovered about human closeness. It's an area unrelated to regular physical intimacy, but instead forges a spiritual connection so deep that it permanently changes your relationship. The fifth secret zone lies on his forehead, specifically the spot between his eyebrows. Jung named the third eye of the soul. This is where intimacy and spirituality meet, where physical closeness transforms into something cosmic. I know it sounds unusual, but hear me out. Jung discovered that a man's forehead holds the core of his truest self, what he called the higher self. It's the part of him beyond his ego, beyond all the roles he plays, beyond who he thinks he is. When you touch a man's forehead in the right way, you don't just touch his emotional side, you reach his spiritual essence, the unchanging part of him.